Chick-fil-A has now gone woke, the last brand on earth that you might expect to go woke. Chick-fil-A, they're not even open on Sundays. They're so Christian, they print Bible verses on the bottom of the cups that the beverages that you buy from them come in. Chick-fil-A is embracing DEI, and you will be shocked to know who in the conservative movement is actually defending the DEI at Chick-fil-A in the name of Christianity. This is so far off. This is so egregious. This, my friends, and we're going to name names here. I'm not going to be vague. I'm going to tell you who this is in the conservative movement. I'm going to tell you why. Maybe they're nice people. I don't know. But they're completely wrong on this. In fact, it's this destructive attitude, this naive attitude, this blind attitude that has led the Republican Party to where we are today, has led our country, bigger even than the Republican Party, to where we are today. It's led our institutions to the place where they are today, which is fully captured by a neo-Marxist ideology. It's Republicans' fault. It's not Republicans who are spearheading this. It's Republicans who are looking for any excuse not to acknowledge what's sitting right in front of our face. That even a brand like Chick-fil-A, what's supposed to be the most Christian brand in the nation, woke leftists don't even eat at Chick-fil-A because the previous owner or the founder of Chick-fil-A supported traditional marriage. They think it's a bigoted restaurant. You can't even eat Chick-fil-A chicken because they don't embrace the LGBTQIA agenda. Well, now maybe they do. Now maybe they do. And I got to tell you, we're going to talk a little bit about boycotts today. Okay, Chick-fil-A is going woke. You can try to deny this. This can make you sad. Maybe you feel grief about this because Chick-fil-A. It's Chick-fil-A, for goodness sake. They have Bible verses on their chicken. This is a company that doesn't open on Sundays because they want to honor the Lord. They have been openly conservative. They've supported traditional marriage between one man and one woman when the entire culture of our country has rejected the objective truth of marriage and reality. It's Chick-fil-A. How can we lose Chick-fil-A? If you feel disappointed about this, well, so do millions upon millions upon millions of people in our country, so much so that there's a cohort of conservatives who are actually trying to deny that this is happening. They're trying to justify it. They're trying to explain it away. And not to be the bearer of bad news, but you can't explain this away. You can cover your eyes. You can be naive. You can put on blinders. But the reality of what we're facing at Chick-fil-A is going woke. This is their commitment to DEI. Oh, those dreaded three letters, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Not how you and I understand those words, right? The left, specifically Marxists on the left, what is their favorite tactic? Their favorite tactic is co-opting language. Their favorite tactic is taking words with positive connotations and redefining those words to suit their political agenda without really mentioning that they redefined these words. So they can just apply these newly defined words that people have positive connotations about to their hideous political agenda. That is DEI. Diversity is not diversity of thought and diversity of experience. Diversity just means tokenism. It means racial quotas. Equity is not inclusion. Equity is socialism. It's equal outcome, not equal opportunity. It's redistribution of wealth. Inclusion, it's not tolerance of other people's viewpoints. It's not religious liberty. It's the opposite. It means you will be forced to adhere to a radical leftist ideology so that their viewpoint is included in your belief system. It's religious persecution. This stuff is evil. DEI is one of the most dangerous things that we are facing. It is the encapsulation of communism, Marxism, and it exists in our country. So Chick-fil-A, I regret to inform you, has embraced DEI. You can see on their website right here. They say, read our commitment, about our commitment to DEI. They say, better at together. We are better together. One of our core values at Chick-fil-A, this is what's written on their website, means when we combine our unique backgrounds and experiences with a culture of belonging, we can strengthen the quality of care we deliver. Chick-fil-A Incorporated's commitment to being better at together means embedding diversity, equity, and inclusion in everything we do. You'll notice that it's not just diversity, equity, and inclusion. They also use the word belonging. Belonging is an additional element of DEI. It actually makes DEI even worse because the idea of belonging, again, the Marxists on the left have redefined the word belonging. It doesn't just mean that something you have ownership of, or you belong, you fit in, you are welcomed. That is not what it means. Belonging, according to the left, means that you have a right to feel a certain way. You have a right to feel unthreatened. and again, unthreatened, they don't mean an actual physical threat. They mean you have a right to be unchallenged. You have a right to be validated. You have a right to force everybody to capitulate to your ideology, or else you might feel unsafe. You might not feel that you belong. It's terrible. It's poisonous. And Chick-fil-A has embraced this. Now, some people are pointing out that, this has been around for a couple of years. This is not a new thing at Chick-fil-A, this DEI. And that's true. That's factually accurate. In fact, the DEI department at Chick-fil-A came to fruition in 2020 during the pandemic, during COVID-19, during the time when corporations were wondering, are we actually going to be able to survive? Because government bureaucrats and politicians are shutting down our businesses. This is a time when Klaus Schwab and his crew from the World Economic Forum tried to impose their great reset of capitalism on corporations around the world. And the way that they did this is they forced ESG metrics, this social credit scoring system, on companies. And if companies didn't adhere or meet certain standards of leftist ideology, like DEI, then they were downgraded on the ESG scoring system. And if they're downgraded on the ESG scoring system, then they lose access to capital. They are squeezed and suffocated out of the market. Apparently, Chick-fil-A is not immune to this, which maybe you can blame Chick-fil-A for not kicking and screaming about this so that it was brought to our attention sooner. Maybe we should actually take a step even further back and say, well, this is actually an example of how this group at the World Economic Forum, I don't even want to call them a group. I want to call them like a mob, a mafia, a cartel, has grabbed the throats of U.S. companies and forced them to adhere to a radical leftist agenda. Otherwise, essentially, they're being choked out. They're being choked to death in the marketplace. So we can talk about both things here. But the fact of the matter is, yes, the DEI department has been part of Chick-fil-A since 2020. The man who was in charge of the DEI department is a man by the name of Eric McReynolds, and he was the executive director of DEI for the last, 3 years now. He is now the vice president of Chick-fil-A in charge of DEI, so that's a promotion. He has been promoted, and now at a higher level in the company, DEI is being, well, to use their words, embedded in everything they do. Again, this is not new. If we go back just a couple of years during the Black Lives Matter riots, when critical race theory and this horrible, poisonous, false, ahistorical, immoral, unchristian, unbiblical idea that white people are inherently racist because of the color of our skin, and that white people now in America who never owned slaves, never participated in institutional racial discrimination, somehow black people who live now who were never slaves and never faced institutional racial discrimination in our country, that somehow the white people now owe the black people now some kind of apology or reparation based on historical wrongs that happened to black people generations ago by white people generations ago. This is a terrible, poisonous idea. Hi guys, it's Liz Wheeler. Don't forget to watch my show, The Liz Wheeler Show, every night at 7 p.m. on the First TV. You can download the free First TV app, or you can visit thefirsttv.com/Liz and start watching today.